Breaking news.
Drama! Yes, drama when it comes to Manchester United.
It's all kicking off.
Man United won't break the bank for him. And if Man United won't break the bank for him, they've got other targets.
Marcus Rashford has returned to Man United. He's returned to Carrington after being in the batch of players who we know have asked to leave Man United. But he hasn't returned as you think. He's trained alone. He's used the facilities. And he's basically like one of the year 11s. You're on study leave. You can stay at yard. You can just do it all in the comfort of your own home. You can use the school facilities. You can use the library. You can use the IT room. And he's done it. You can use the gym. And he's chosen to come back in, which, listen, let's be fair, is his right to. He's still a Man United player. He's still contracted to Man United. And Man United made it very clear that players are able to access what they need to access. But like I say, man, usually when that happens, it's July as well. So this is GCSE territory. You kind of stay away, innit? You normally just go, I ain't going back in. No worries. I'll have a mixture of playing PlayStation and revising and eating. And in my day, I'm on MSN, yeah? But he's gone back into school, mate. He's gone back into school. So, yeah, that's what's happened with Rashford. I don't think it changes anything. Let's be fair. It doesn't change anything. But at the end of the day, he's come back to Carrington and trained alone. There you go, man. Welcome back to United View. Welcome to another transfer view. Loads to get through this morning, though, loads.
Yes, there is loads to get to. I was just reading the chat. GCSEs, do they not exist anymore? Do they not exist anymore? I mean, I don't know. Flex has realised he's got to put his headphones back on. Do GCSEs not exist anymore?
They do.
Do they?
No, they mean it's finished as in like it's gone past July. They've already sat them.
Oh, right. They've already sat them. I was going to say they still exist. Right. I wasn't sure.
They still exist. Absolutely.
Because, well, you know, people like, like when I was doing my GCSEs, you get your parents, they go, well, back in my day, it was O levels. You know, I did my O levels at school. And you go, O levels, granddad. You know what I'm talking about. I didn't know if I was in that. If I was into that, if I was into that territory, they're just numbers now. Oh, no.
Yeah. The numbers. Yeah, they're graded like 1 to 7, I think it is.
Oh, yeah. Look
at
that.
6. Yeah.
Look at that.
I'm seeing lots of C. It's a pass.
I'm seeing a lot of acronyms in the chat that I don't recognize. So there you go. Yeah. Every day is a school day, just like you're sitting your GCSEs. This is the transfer view. If you haven't already, click the like button. We've already got 700 people watching, over 100 likes. Let's see if we can get to 500 plus on the likes this morning. And also be sure to subscribe. As you can see in the top right-hand corner, we're over 196. It just moved over 196,000. We're on our way to 200K with pre-season, the tour. Oh, Flex. First game in Sweden, 10 days away. First game of the actual preseason tour of the US. What date is that again? Is it
27th.
27th. So that's what, 16 days
away.
away.
Wait, I leave on the 27th, so maybe it's on the 26th.
Let's have a look. And my maths was wrong there. It's early. The first game is against West Ham. It's on the 27th. Yes, Flex, you're right. It's 18 days away. 18 days away. Yeah.
It's on the 27th.
Yeah.
Oh no, but it's 27th for you. Don't confuse me.
Because you worried then for a second.
Because I've booked the flights. I've done all this 5 million times. I've done this 5 million times.
It's on the 27th of July for me at midnight.
Right. Don't you dare. Right. Yeah. Because local time, I think it's like, what is it? Like 5 o'clock or something? Local time?
Yeah, on something the 26th. On the 26th.
I knew it because I need to wake up in the morning on the 27th and get a flight to Chicago. So don't tell me that the game was on the 27th, please. I don't need to hear that.
No. Well, because you're traveling for the second game. Yes.
Yeah, no, because we're changing states. So basically,
the
game is on the 26th for me, but I go to sleep and then wake up on the 27th.
Yeah.
Early doors, 9:30. We're out of there to Chicago. So there better not be a game on the 27th.
Chicago.
There is Chicago.
Yeah.
So nearly panic view, says Simon. And you know what as well? You know what? You should see me, I'm like, when I'm booking these flights, because I just do it all. Like sometimes we have had like providers, shout out to Prime Planet and stuff like that. But I have this year I just said I'm gonna do it all. And I'm like, right. So the game is on the 26th. So that means that right, but that's Eastern time. So that means that actually it'll be 27th in England. But for me, local time, I need to go to sleep on the 26th in the night after the game. I wake up on the 27th. Like I just go through it 5 million times.
Yeah,
and
yeah, you're pretty good with that. Usually, you don't really make
Yeah.
those clerical errors or anything like
No.
that. Apart from the one time we were going to the Football Content Awards, and you took us to the other side of Manchester, the place we were staying. That was quite fun.
Yeah, and
we ended up outside someone's house.
But with that, I did just press the thing that was in the
we
thing,
ended up outside literally someone's home, and we were about to go in, and we were like, it looks different. It looks different than the picture. It's like, yeah, it looks really different. Someone's living in there. That is strange. Someone's house.
And what's the worst that can happen, you know?
Yeah.
UV on the move, you know, that's what happens. So
yeah,
hopefully everything's nice and smooth in America, you know.
Yeah.
So hopefully we go to the right places. But yes, and also the tour is brought to you by Gowan Life and Oxford Natural as well. So of course they've been doing a lot of work with ourselves. We've been doing a lot of work with them over the last year and a bit, and we're really excited to continue that. We are all on our optimum journeys. You've seen our different physical stuff going on. I'm in the gym and in the paddle. You know what I mean? Obviously taking my supplements as well. KG is on his Peloton. Owen, I'm seeing the rings go off every day on my Apple Watch of completing his activity. And you can see with his whole being, he is optimized. So yeah, and someone, I can't remember the name of the person in Super Chat the other day. They've down like how many pounds?
Oh, it was Austin Baker. Yeah. Austin Baker. There you
go. Or he's down a lot of pounds as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Oxford Natural and Gowan Life, doing great stuff, and we can't wait to bring you more. So stay locked in for the pre-season tour. But right, Rashford has returned to training, but not how we think.
Yeah, this was a story yesterday coming from The Athletic. It was quite an interesting one because, like Flex mentioned, I think everyone's kind of assumed that after being given the option to not come back, then those 5 players, Rashford, Garnacho, Sancho, Malacia, Anthony, all wouldn't come back to training this week. But actually, according to Mark Critchley from The Athletic, Marcus Rashford did indeed report back for Manchester United training on Monday and Tuesday, despite being given extra time away to find a new club. Now, Rashford trained on an individual basis at Carrington and did not take part in team training with the rest of Ruben Amorim's squad. Of course, he doesn't have a squad number. He doesn't have a place in the squad either in terms of the preparations training. I would assume that it looks very likely that he's not going to go on the preseason tour of the US or be featured in the squad for the game in Sweden, because they were basically told stay away, stay away and find yourself a new club. Now, whenever stuff like this happens, Flex, a lot of people will say, there's motive behind the actions. Is Rashford, is Team Rashford trying to send a message by going back and saying that they've gone back? Is it almost the physical embodiment of what he was doing, say, on Instagram before he left on loan at the end? When he was constantly in the crowd going, "Great performance, guys. Well done, guys." This sort of thing of, look, I'm ready to play whatever needed. I'm a team player. I'll come back. I'll come back in, and I'm there at Carrington every day. Some of the guys that have asked to leave, I didn't ask to leave. I was told to leave, and I'm coming back. And if you need me, I'm still here. Is it more of that? Or is it just a non-story of, oh no, he just that's where he's been for years. He goes back to Carrington every pre-season.
I think it's that this part of it is normal. I mean, he could choose to stay away and not train alone, but he has to in within the club, because it makes it more apparent that the first team's over there and you're on that training pitch by yourself. But I'll be honest, I'm not angered by this, or nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. And Man United said, and rightly so, players will have access to training facilities or whatever they need and coaching and whatever. That's their duty. They're duty bound. They have a legally binding contract. That Marcus Rashford is still a Man United player. And like I was talking about in the All or Nothing documentary, there's only a certain amount of exile you can do. Saying you're not allowed to come into Carrington, maybe there's got to be a higher threshold of just past is new, wants to go in a different direction. It would need to be you're suspended from playing or some serious shit. But it's not that. This is all football related. So you have to stick to the contract. So no problem. I don't. What Rashford does in his I say spare time. It's tight. It's the off season. He needs to keep himself fit. He's looking for a move. He's a professional athlete. Professional athlete trains. News? No, it's not. So the fact that it's back at Man United, it doesn't change anything. He's not with the first team squad, and it's as you were. I don't. And you know what? I don't think they should, but they can't anyway because legally they can't. But they shouldn't banish him like that anyway. I don't get
well,
that.
like
He's
you said,
academy graduate. He's been at the club for ages. It's gone sour. Do your training alone with the coaches. That's what you do, and then get your move.
Like you said, I don't think from a legal perspective, and like you said, unless he's suspended or something like that, then you will be not allowed to come into it'd be like having an employee basically being like, right, unless there is a legal reason for why you can't be in the office, basically, i.e. you don't work there anymore, you're on gardening leave, or like you said, you're being suspended or whatever, like, then you're an employee. You're allowed to come into the office. That's part of the job, right? So, like you said, I don't think there's not a reason why he can't. Like I said, nothing really changes. If anything, it's just more sort of solidified, isn't it? Of just like, well, he's come in. If there was any chance of integration, he'd have been involved in the earliest of early preseason training with the rest of the squad. He's not. He doesn't even have a squad number. So in that regard, nothing really changes.
Taking it all out his bio, hasn't he? Even his Man United, he's got no header on the Twitter thing. He just says England international footballer. It doesn't say Man United or anything.
But I think the thing of saying that, he's got to stay fit and he's got to, he's got to stay fit for a move. And what else is he supposed to do? I mean, this guy's a multi-millionaire elite athlete. There are a million different facilities private facilities or places he could go around the world. So it's not like, well, he's only going to Carrington. You know what I mean? It's not like he's only going to Carrington because that's the only place he's got access to. That is very naive to think that is the case, isn't it? Of going, well, it's just there because of the world-class facilities that Manchester United have. You go, well, I don't know about that.
They haven't changed since 2001.
I don't know about that. It might just be a case of this is his routine. It's round the corner from where he lives, kind of thing as well. Actually, it's like moving gyms, isn't it? I'll just stick to the one around the corner. Maybe it's not as good as the one that's like 5-10 miles away, but it's the one I can get to in 5 minutes. So I'll go to that one, kind of thing.
And also, he might not he might not even do this every day. He might just do a couple of days there. Then he might fly out to bloody Spain again and do some in the hot weather training, or Dubai or whatever. Like, maybe not Dubai is really, really hot there, but like, just whatever. Like, it's not. Do you know what I mean? It's just what happens. I'm
surprised it took to Tuesday to come out. I mean, I would, if Rashford had been back at Carrington, I thought the moment he was spotted there on Monday, they'd be like, press, look who's here, look who's this and that. And
maybe he didn't.
If anything, it does sort of say to how much nothing has changed in that regard. Maybe how calm people are about at United. In that, has Rashford been around? Yeah, he's been around. He's not been involved in training. He's there, and there's not been any issues. It's just, as it were, nothing cares. Nothing's really changed in that regard. Maybe. I suppose on one hand, it is a story because they were all told they could stay away, and he decided not to. On the other hand, it's a non-story because, like you said, the situation or circumstance still hasn't changed all that much. So
it hasn't changed. Obviously sometimes I know people can say, so why don't we talk about it? The news is the news. That's what we're saying. We're saying that the fact that this was reported by was it Mark Critchley?
From the Athletic.
From the Athletic. So obviously the Athletic running it. We are sort of saying, the Athletic have run that, but it's like, it's kind of significant because he was told to stay, that you have the option to stay away. So his option is, I'll train by myself in Carrington. So that's the only bit of news, is that, newsflash, out of the 5 players, Marcus Rashford is the only one who's actually come in to continue his work. That's the statement. And it's not a revelation. I think it's more of just information. So when you're a reporter, your job is to kind of, it's going to rain today, or this happened, or I have to tell you this. Like, it's a factual thing that just happened.
Imagine that with weather forecasters, whatever. If people reacted the same way that they do to Manchester United news to weather forecasters, every time it rained, they'd be told you're lying because they don't like that. They don't like that part of it. You know what I mean?
Spin, that's PR.
Well, Unfortunately, it's not going to be a white Christmas this year. Spin, spin, spin. Bollocks. I'll believe it when I see it. Christmas Day. Well, there's no snow again. That one was true. Yeah, shit. You know,
I've never had a white Christmas in my life. You know, have you?
Well, no. I mean, not
in this country,
not a proper. I mean, like I remember once when I was younger, I saw some snowflakes, but never enough. You know,
to my memory, I cannot remember like even flakes. I can't even remember it just being even icy on Christmas Day.
I remember tell a lie. I remember. I want to say like around like 2010 or something like that. Maybe like a week before Christmas. It was absolutely like complete huge snow everywhere for like 3 or 4 days. Yeah. But then and then once Christmas actually came around, it's usually quite mild, to be honest, on Christmas Day. Really, it's never that cold or whatever.
No, it's never really that whole. It never really matches the films you watch at that time because they're just stacked with snow.
No,
I
mean, I suppose it depends where you're from, right? But not in the UK. Because isn't it some sort of, because they take like bets on it, and I think it's something like in the British Isles, if snow falls somewhere, then it's a white Christmas, and like in parts in Scotland, because it's like Highlands, so it's got to snow there. Mad, obviously.
Remzin says we've had white Christmas in Manchester plenty of times. Fair play.
Spin. Yeah. I'll believe that when I see it, Remzin.
Yeah. Tavra says they've scrapped GCSEs for DCLs. I like what you've done there, bro. I like what you've done there. Nick Cart says Mbeumo to United is about structure and add-ons. People thinking Brentford would reject 62.5 million but accept 65. Hopefully a breakthrough this week. Owen is the embodiment of this is fine meme. This is fine. Yeah, is that you? This is fine meme. Yeah.
I've been saying I've feeling quite nervous the last few days. Actually,
you have. Yeah. That's true. Show says seen United accounts hyping up preseason pictures. Mount and Shaw leanest I've ever seen.
As well.
Q GTA meme. Here we go again. We don't learn.
Well, it's Groundhog Day again.
Yeah.
What Mount and Shaw? What they captioned that? Man United didn't like that.
No, not Man United. Man United accounts, like, aggregated.
Oh, no, Dylan said, Dylan was like, Dylan was saying that, wasn't he?
Yeah, this is, and a lot of them go look at Mason Mount and Luke Shaw, they look lean. Oh, who gives a fuck? I mean, come on, guys. Come on. What is this? Biggest loser. We're all the losers then, aren't we? You know what I mean? Sounds like us being optimized. Well, they look lean. All right, I don't play Man United. And is that the bare minimum? They're a professional athlete. And we're going, I tell you what, guys, well done. You came back looking fit. Yeah. I would hope that's the bare minimum for Luke Shaw and Mason Mount. They haven't been fit for a decade. And we're like, oh, look at them. They look in shape.
Dylan, you need to be accountable for these remarks. Actually, Dylan's due to come on
the Full View.
Yeah, no, what the devil, but also like on a Full View as well. Dylan some shows, so we can ask him about this. Because I did see Dylan put that. So Dylan, if you're watching, mate, is there a response, Dylan? If you're watching right now, don't know if he is, but if you are.
If the best thing we can say about Mason Mount and Luke Shaw is they look lean.
We've said about Casemiro too.
Yeah, but even again, because that's the good news. That's the good news we're clutching at, and we should be going. I tell you what, look at that. There's Cunha, there's Mbeumo, there's a striker, there's this. Our good news this week is they look pretty trim. You grand? Is that it? Oh my god!
It's we lose track basically of the non-negotiables, the bare minimums, because the standards have been on the floor. We lose track of what it should be.
I went into a performance review with you, right?
Yeah,
and the only thing you can say about my performance this year is you go, "Hey, mate, you're looking lean." I go, "Well, that's not good, because we're here to talk about work. So my performance must be the shits. If that's the one pro." Pros and cons. Pro, looking good. Yeah. Right, let's move on to the cons. You go, oh, this is going to be long.
Them thumbnails, them shows that needed scheduling. So basically, about that.
Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal, you know. Oh, God.
Punctuality,
I think
you ain't really showing up to work.
I think it's just copium. I think it's just copium, isn't it? We're just trying to, try to make ourselves feel good, aren't we?
Or was it just an innocent observation?
I suppose it's factual.
Yeah, he's just saying it's the leanest I've ever. What did Dylan say back? Actually, did he say more stuff? Did he say shout out Dylan from United View, our guy? He's been called out.
Call it air.
He's been called out.
I'll get the segment back.
He said. So I said, mate, I've been watching. I don't know what he said, but it looked lean. Right, okay. So what's under this? Is that a positive? Dylan says, big time. Oh, this is 15 minutes ago. Have you seen the recent image of Casemiro? He's in crazy shape. Lean as in equals skinny. Will you keep quiet? Someone said to Dylan. He said, bit rude. What else has Dylan said about this? Trying to look for official comment from Dylan on this. Replies. He was shocking towards anything else about Onana. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Amram's middle centre back step up. No. Amram reckon United submit his verdict. My heart. No, he hasn't really said too much. These
were the things in question, weren't they? It was this Casemiro looking very lean. He said, I can't lie, been watching the gym vids United posted today. I don't know what Amarim said at the end of the season. Players looking lean as hell. What else was there? Where was the one with like Luke Shaw? I'm trying to find the Luke Shaw one.
Well, he said it's lean as well.
I don't know if that one was Dylan, in fairness. I don't know if that one. Because
I'm going to voice note Dylan now.
Got to be fair. I don't know if that one was.
Because he has to be held accountable. That's like what happens on the channel. Yeah. I'm going to voice note Dylan, ask him to message me back a response of what he would like to say to these charges. Hold on. Let me just mute myself.
Yeah. So, we're just trying to find that. And this is the fun thing, with the transfer view. It can just sort of go many ways. I want to, if I can exonerate Mount and Shaw lean. Who said that? Right. It was Frank. Yeah. Frank's, he's done some mad shit on Twitter. It was this. Leanest I've seen Mount and Shaw in a long time from Frank. Yeah. Bit of a rough one, that. Bit of a rough one.
Say that again. Frank. What Frank said of madness.
It was Frank.
I mean, Dylan was responding on X 15 minutes ago. So hopefully.
But he didn't say the one about Shaw and Mount.
He's read the message.
He didn't say
what did he say? Cobby.
It was about Cobby and it was about Casemiro. He didn't say Shaw and Mount.
Well, he's still talking about leanness, isn't he?
Yeah.
So Dylan has opened my message. I can see 2 blue ticks. So he will be listening as we speak.
Oh,
so I expect to see.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I expect to see Dylan is recording message.
Yeah. Well, and if Frank, if you're watching as well this morning, and you've got a response or a retort to the Mason Mount Luke Shaw one, you can put that on Twitter. I'll make sure
he has responded.
I think we follow you. Yeah.
But the first bit he's typing and he's just put many skulls, many skulls emojis. So that's the first bit he's saying, i.e. as in what? I'm cooked. I didn't mean it. What does this mean? He's now typing. Interesting. Dylan is typing. We will see what he's saying. Just quickly there, just Gilbert, actually, let me just pick that up because it caught my eye. Are you guys in Sweden and on complete tour? Cheers from Switzerland. Absolutely, Gilbert. Complete and utter, pure, complete tour. We will be in Sweden. We will obviously be in the States. And we will be in Manchester for the Fiorentina game as well. Dylan's been typing a long time. Sounds like.
And if you think because Flex and KG and Just Rush Media Graphics Guru Visual Ninja are out there in the States, there's going to be no match view, you're wrong. Because once again,
how would they think that?
Well, I don't know, Fleck. But once again, we will return to the Asylum. Will be returning. Yes, the Asylum, which is usually painted and decorated in some form of USA regalia. It will be exactly the same. It'll be flags. Last year I had fireworks, virtual, not physical. That'd be very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous, yes. I tried last year to find like a version of living in America that I could play on stream, which I couldn't, which was bullshit. Because I wanted to have that at the start of every stream, but copyright.
Couldn't. Yeah, copyright. Can't do that.
Yeah, so
I'm not going to lie to you. Dylan's nervous because I'm seeing type in, then it stops typing, then it starts typing, then it stops. He's trying to find the right words. I think he's rattled here.
Oh,
I think he's rattled. So yeah, it's not looking good, mate.
Interesting, Flex.
Is it breaking news?
It's not. I'm not going to press the button. I'm not going to press the button. It's not worth that.
Why can't we just get that, man?
Well, you know, according to Gianluca Damasio and Give Me Sport, some other outlets, they're saying that Juventus are planning to terminate Dusan Vlahovic's contract. Vlahovic is, quote, desperate to test himself in the Premier League and remains hopeful Manchester United will pounce amid his availability on the market. Now, obviously, Vlahovic is on a massive contract at Juventus. I think it's over £300,000 a week, which for Juventus is huge. It's massive. So Juventus reportedly wants to avoid paying that and maybe come to some kind of mutual termination, a payoff, if you will. And they're going to seemingly present this solution, according to Damasio, to his agents in an upcoming meeting. If he was a free agent, and if there could be some kind of, he's not going to be on the wages that he was at Juventus, although there's a possibility because he'd be a free agent, they might ask for even more because there's no transfer fee involved. But on a free, Vlahovic, yay or nay? 1s and 2s in the chat. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Or actually just put yes or no. Yes or no in the chat.
Well,
Vlahovic.
Mate, on a free, yeah, take it. Take it on a free.
Depends on the circumstance.
Depends. Yeah, because if it's a free, and obviously the wages, they make it more modest because that's why they're cancelling it. I'm not totally convinced. It hasn't been great since he's left. It is a bit more of a desperation thing because, who are we going to get? Where is the striker come from? Who's the target? Who is it going to be? Watkins, let's be honest, they're going to want big bread. They're going to want 50, 60 million for Ollie Watkins. They will. So if it's on a free, how can we?
It's very mixed. It's very mixed in the chat.
Yeah, so some people still saying no on
a free transfer. We're going to put a poll.
Come on, you wouldn't wrap up heaven. You wouldn't rather Vardy on a free. I don't know if we've got a lot to lose. I think you got.
Well, you still got money to lose, haven't you?
Oh yeah, money, wages, and that your contract.
Yeah, again, like KG, I've got conditions. Okay, remember what he said on Friday on the Trinity. I've got conditions because, as is on the screen there, there's no such thing as a free transfer. We know this, don't we? It comes to signing on fees, agent fees. With the absence of a transfer fee to the club, they say, look, you might as well give some of that to us. So you're still paying. There's no such thing as that. But if he's so desperate to try in the Premier League, and if he's so desperate to get his move that he accepts a payoff and not his full salary at Juventus, and maybe the United say, look, we're only willing to give you half of what you were on, or maybe 2/3 of what you were on at Juventus. If he said yes and accepted that, it is an option. It's a better option than the other free agents with.
That's what I'm saying. I'd rather him than Callum Wilson, Jamie Vardy, or Dominic Calvert-Lewin on a free. I would, but...
a poll is in the chat right now. Vlahovic on a free transfer. Get your votes in. It's going to be a divisive one.
Adele says, if someone asks why no one wants Rashford, here's why. 457 games, 147 goals, 0.32 goals a game, 83 assists, a goal every 206 minutes, XG plus XA every 141 minutes, 43% shot actually, 47% dribble success. Just not worth 300 grand a week. I mean, it's a long way around, but yeah, his wages are too high. But big up to you, Adele. United Love says, last proper snowy London was Christmas 99. Oh, I mean, I was obviously alive then, but I don't remember that.
Maybe I've made this up, Fleck, but I believe, wasn't there a thing of when, like, in early 1900s, maybe even 1800s, the Thames froze over in London?
I have no idea, bro. I know not, the history is not my thing. I don't know. Never heard of that in my life. London, of the Thames freezing over in the 1900s or some shit.
Freeze over.
What at Christmas? Or you mean you just got that cold that it?
Yes. There's a little ice age from the 16th to 19th century. This is what I thought. During these times, the frozen river became the site of bustling frost fairs, offering a unique blend of market, carnival, and entertainment. I thought that was the case, yes. So it froze over, and it was.
They had markets on it.
The ice. They had market stalls on there. Yes.
Would you chance that if they said to you now, tell you what, lads, the Thames is frozen over. We could have some market stalls in there. You want to come down? Would you go on that? No.
If it was that frozen, yeah. I mean, they've got stalls on there, like full on, tents up and loads of people on there.
I don't know if that's just Jamaican to me, bro.
Yeah,
I ain't trusting that shit.
Yeah, you would.
You think I'm getting on the frozen Thames, bro, for it to crack and me drop in? You mad?
Well, everyone would drop in.
Well, there's a chance. You think I'm going on a frozen thing?
Yeah,
like
Thames Show said, maybe this time last year, probably not. I'd be a bit concerned about the ice under my feet now, a bit lighter. So I'd be like, I'll be okay. I'd be looking at other people on there, frankly. I'd be going, wow, if they're on there, you know what I mean? Then I think I'll be fine.
Loud out, mate. I'll leave that to you and ask you to tell me what it was like. I ain't getting on no frozen Thames because they say it's all right, it's safe. You just won't. It's perfectly frozen. Fuck that. No chance. Excuse my language.
History.
History was not my thing. I only know about the plague. What else? I can't remember Battle of Rome, Battle of Hastings, Battle of this, but I don't know. I can't.
Well, obviously you weren't around for that point. 1066.
No, but I mean, learning it. I don't know nothing about it. I don't know.
I only know the Hastings one because of the advert. It was like, what was the number?
Oh, what for the insurance?
0800 00 1066.
I don't know. What's the prohibition? Was that in America? Was that when there was
America,
no alcohol?
That was the ban on alcohol. Yeah.
Obviously slavery, Holocaust, even like World War One and Two. My knowledge is shot. Don't know nothing about it, mate. Obviously, I know the basics, but I don't know.
My dad was one of those ones. There's always a documentary. Always History Channel's always on.
Yeah,
always on.
So he's well versed.
He watches black and white films as well. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Maybe this is why he jinxes the shirts. I'm old school, me.
I'm old school.
Uncle Sommy says, all or nothing, episode 1 ending, team training ongoing, camera pans to Rashford is there, and points to his head and enters the training field, content. Red Baron says, Chris Rock vibes on Mountain Shore. It's supposed to do, yeah, exactly. And Gotti says, conditioning is standard when players earn 200k plus per week. I do have a response from Dylan. I'm going to read that out. He said he'd be in the comments in a minute as well.
Yeah, he's
Aki said, okay. Chelsea sell Madueke and sign Mbeumo for 70 million in 2 days' time. Let's be honest. We can see it happening. Can we empty the stadium and make a ruthless move? Terence says, I'm shocked Vlahovic is only 25. He looks older. He does. JD United View Day 1. Oh, what a name. Love that. JD United View Day 1. Says, take him on a free, more money for other positions. Agreed. Red Baron says Flex is actually 20 years old. United aged him.
It's true. I'm older than Flex.
Gilbert has become the latest member of the UV Members Club. Big up to you, Gilbert. Welcome to the family. Aki says, build a time machine and find Glazer father. Stop him. And that wrestled the super chats and member chats read out.
Dylan
you better have read out my response already. I haven't. I'm going to read it right now, Dylan. Right now. Dylan's response is as follows. I only stated compete factos. Remember, I think he means complete. Remember, he's very nervous. Yeah. Like I said, it took him a while to write this too. Yeah. Remember the Casemiro Bossman memes 2 seasons ago? ? We were haunted for months. Last summer, half of our best players barely had a preseason, and a few others like Xerxes, etc., reportedly arrived a little overweight, contributing to his slow start. Yes, it is the bare minimum, but it's also something that we've not seen in the last couple of seasons. What this does, it helps Amorim hit the ground running in preseason and make sure his players can actually cope with the Premier League this time around. He says, I'll jump in the comments in 1 sec.
I tell you what, I wasn't expecting that sort of lengthy of a statement. I wasn't expecting that. No, that was full on. Come up to in front of the whole class and read your homework out for everyone. Or explain. Or, like when you're in school and
people are not having it as well.
And you put your hand up and you go, the answer is 75. And everyone's like, that, okay, get up, tell everyone how you got 75. And you have to explain to everyone you're working. You're like, well, I didn't think it was going to be this.
Dylan, they're not really having that. They're not really having that, bro. Because basically what you're saying is now they've come back leaner. You're basically saying they're going to be better. They're going to be able to cope with the demands now of Amorim's system in the Premier League. They're going to be so much better. You've just stuck your neck out in line and said, because they're a bit trimmer, we're going to be loads better. And don't get me wrong, if we're loads better and we look fitter and we're running further distances and those numbers stack up,
That's what I like to hear. You turn it into a promotion or a plug. I love that. United District. If you want to hear my full response, you can tune into What the Devil on Thursday. Excellent. Yes.
Yes.
It'll be live just after 12 on Thursday. Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And like I said, Dylan, you might have missed it as well. I have said you're getting queued up to come into the full view as well and enter the fray, bro. So, yes, there's going to be a lot happening. Dylan's going to be involved. More opinions from Dylan. So, yeah. Check out What the Devil on Thursday to basically tell him you don't believe what he's saying. You think it's nonsense. Yeah, it's nonsense.
Preferably super chat. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, he'll be live. So just tell him what you think of him then. Exactly. Tell him what you think of him
Me versus Dylan in a hot chip challenge. Dylan will probably win still.
Oh, bloody hell! Yeah,
but I might be close. I feel like Dylan's a bit more sort of well travelled than me. I think
yeah, he's been a lot of places. Yeah, he might. Yeah, I think he'd handle more spice than you for sure. The Mbeumo transfer latest.
Do you want the latest on this, Flex? A twist, a turn, more like the intro of this show says, drama. I feel like I should be getting royalties for that at this point. Drama. Bryan Mbeumo, he was actually expected to report for pre-season training at Brentford on Monday, but the club told him he won't have to report back until next Monday. That's the latest, Fleck.
Stay away, find yourself a move.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's just basically people are like, he's going to be back at Brentford. And they went, he's not here. What does that mean? He's come back next week. Right.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think there was another story saying that, he'd become frustrated by, by how long it was taking.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, please.
We're going to get Bryan Mbeumo.
Don't worry about that, Flex. That's a bit of
fucking reckless! That's fucking reckless!
The real question we should be asking, how lean is Bryan Mbeumo? That's the real question.
Well, he's currently not training, so
exactly.
The lean is not going to be as lean.
How lean are you looking, Bryan Mbeumo? Yeah? This has turned into this is there's over nearly 2,100 people here right now. And this is the biggest Weight Watchers meeting ever. Okay. That's what it really is. We're all going to weigh ourselves and tell everyone how fit we are. That's going to be the situation. I'm not worried at all. In my brain, Flex, he did actually arrive on Monday. And here we go. I'm just going to live in total denial now. He's already here.
Sorry, I just laugh at it. It's off topic. You just scroll and check there's no news. That's you missing. You always have it up, don't we? We have it there. I did see Alice quote retweet. She's put dickheads. I'm like, what's this for? Because the government are voted against allowing 10 Premier League games to broadcast free.
I saw that.
But it's just we just don't expect it from Alice. Like she's like dickheads. It just made me laugh. But anyway, back to Mbeumo's.
Am I worried? No. No.
You don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's creeping.
No, because that one will happen. There's just the annoying thing of just like, as someone mentions there in the chat, I did see on his, I think, Instagram story yesterday, he's in America. He's in America at the moment. Maybe he should just stay there and we'll pick him up along the way.
Yeah,
maybe that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Maybe it was one of those ones like, he's already in America, so we don't have to worry about him flying to Carrington to fly out with us. He's just we're gonna meet up with him on the pre-season tour. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. So we always knew we had him. It's just that it was better this way. So he just meets us
logistically.
there.
If there's any way that Ineos can save on airfare, then they'll do it. So that's one less ticket you've got to purchase for your plane ride around the US. So no problem. That's a transatlantic flight we don't need to have to pay for. So might as well just stay out there, mate.
Space on the plane. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my bigger worry isn't about Brian Mbeumo. My bigger worry is, like I said, Goldberg settings. Who is next? I don't know. Everything else has gone very quiet, hasn't it, Fleck? You know, Gyökeres, obviously, that Arsenal thing's happening. Okay, so who is it? Who are we getting? The Ollie Watkins thing happened for about a day. It's gone quite quiet, hasn't it?
I don't know who's going to be.
Talks about like midfielders, they don't really exist. That like Valencia one happened for about 35 minutes. Then that was not happening. I think people are trying to like will it. I think people are like trying to will it into a thing about that Richard Rios about with we're going to get him, but that doesn't look like that's going to happen. I think it looks like he's going to Italy, either like Roma or Inter or what have you.
Look at Osimhen locking down Galatasaray. Obviously we're never going to get him anyway.
Turkey's the place to go. And I tell you what, that Turkish title race is going to be bloody good next season, isn't it? I mean, you've got Duran, you've got Osimhen, you've got Leroy Sané, you've got Jose involved in that. You've got conspiracies about the person resigning, disciplinary committee resigning because of things said about Jose on WhatsApp. Oh, it's box office, absolute box office. We should go there, Flex, and come back with new hairlines, both of us.
Let's
Turkish
do it.
View. Yeah.
Let's give you.
So yeah, but nothing's happened. Ollie's there. Ollie's at the wheel at Besiktas. Yeah, but with us, if anything, since the return to pre-season training, things have got quieter for us.
But this is what I'm saying. I don't know if you saw a little bit of it yesterday when me and KG were on the Full View Flex and KG show. I was basically saying, KG, here's what I've realised. I've realised we're not getting anyone anytime soon. Like Mbeumo, fares, like I think we'll get him before American tour at best. But after that, the players, it's like a stockpile now. Like they're waiting to go. There's a hold up in the line, and the dominoes can't fall for us to bring players in until we get some outgoings. And I don't think those outgoings happen until like well into tour and stuff like that. So I'm not going to expect any players until we get back. Which is, it's not. Listen, I'm not saying I think this is good and I'm okay with this. I've just understood that now, which is terrible, shocking, because we can't get the players gone. We can't, and like James said, it isn't necessarily our fault that we can't get. It is our fault in terms of the club gave them the contract to put us in this situation. But I mean, in terms of how much we can fast track this, like what we were talking about with Marcel, of like, have we done the maximum of what we can do? And it's like Marcel's like, no, do more, sell them all for 5 million. But like, really, us these 5.
Don't tell Marcel that Vlahovic is going to get his contract ripped up.
Yeah, because that's what he's saying.
That will open up a can of worms, won't it? People will be like, "Wow, Man United, do that then."
But what I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying, that like in terms of where we are, we can't make Rashford go to Barcelona quicker than this. We can't make the bid arrive for Alejandro Garnacho on a permanent quicker than this. He's not in training. You told him don't come back. What? The contract is already there. You can't. There's no point going back to well, actually, his contract's not actually that bad. But there's no point going back to the others of why did we sign Anthony for that? What's the point? It's been done. We've cussed for that for ages. Omar Barada can't change that. He can't, and that's what's going to hurt us. Now I know we're talking about we should be spinning plates and managing deals all at once. We should be ready to go. Doesn't mean that's not happening. But in terms of activating it, because we need the funds, we need the guaranteed incomings of funds to know that we can. Well, I think that's where we are.
Yeah, I mean, it is quite.
How are we going to get players?
Our main source of income at the moment is for players that we've already sold. So Alanga, obviously, money coming in from that. Alvaro, it's not Fernandez, isn't it? But I always call him Fernandez. Carras, going to Real Madrid.
Yeah,
that's happening. So we'll get some money off that. It is kind of, again, hilarious that they were 2 players deemed not good enough at Man United, and now they're both playing for Champions League clubs. In the case of Alvaro, like, one of the biggest clubs in the world, but he wasn't good enough to play at left back for Ten Hag. Yeah. And we were looking for a left back as well. But Luke Shaw's looking lean this summer, so that's positive. And Malacia we're trying to sell. So that's all good. Yeah. And then with the Rashford to Barcelona thing, I still say, like, he's really trying to will that one into existence, isn't he? Really is. Because how many times can he be a plan B for a club? Because it was, well, he's plan B for Nico Williams. They're not getting Nico Williams. Well, then you activate plan B. And they go, well, he's plan B if they don't get Diaz. And they've already had a bid rejected for Diaz earlier on in the transfer window. So it's like, okay, technically, so he was plan C then. And Liverpool don't want to sell. Meanwhile, Manchester United are desperate to sell. And they're still they're still waiting. The reality is, and I was watching Sky Sports News, I think it was Miguel Delaney or someone like that was basically saying that wouldn't be shocked if a lot of Man United's business does end up getting done in the last few days before the window shuts, which is not conducive to a good start to the season. It's not conducive to support for Ruben Amorim. It's not an ideal situation. Look, he's actively stopping players from training with the first team squad because he doesn't want them there. But it's just, I've said it every show, it is this game of chicken where I'm sure the agents and representatives, they'll be saying, look, if we just stand firm, keep holding out, things will change, things will move, clubs panic and what have you, prices come down, expectations come down, a deal can be that you can still go to Barca for a loan. If you're that desperate for a move to Barca, let's wait to the end of the window, we'll every last second out of it, and if it's not possible, we'll get a last minute loan in the Prem and we'll reevaluate it again. With the Garnacho one, you just feel like things have got so quiet with that, and because he wants to stay in the Prem, again, a lot of the Premier League teams are like, well, all right, we'll wait a while and we'll see who's out there across Europe, possibly cheaper. Because with the Garnacho one, Man United are right in this regard. If you're seeing people like João Pedro go for 60 million or Gittins go for like 55, possibly like 60 million, then you would say, well, Garnacho, he's played over 100 times in the Premier League. He scored in an FA Cup final and he's only like 20. How is he not worth 50, 60, maybe even close to 70 million all in? He would be, because he's young. You're paying for potential there. And because of that, Premier League clubs will look at Garnacho and go, all right, well, we'll think about it, but we know we might be able to get someone out there cheaper, so we'll have a look. So all of those ones, you just feel like it's just, like you said, I do think they will happen, but it's just going to be late. Ben says there in the chat, no, it's Jack, sorry. Can we see Garnacho at Chelsea? Flex was mentioning this morning, actually, before we went live, going, well, depending on what happens with Madueke, then suddenly you get into...
this is why he's got to wait.
There's a spot then maybe available. There was Fabrizio saying about it this morning that Madueke has already agreed a 5-year contract with Arsenal, and now they've just got to figure out what that transfer would look like in terms of a monetary value. And with Chelsea, my goodness me, how quickly they can do deals. You wouldn't have to worry about Chelsea dragging their heels if they actually want Garnacho. So, and I know as much as whenever you bring up his name with Garnacho, it's, he's rubbish. Can't be, you overvalue him because you say he's 50, 60 million. As I've said a million times, if the shoe was on the other foot, if we were negotiating with a Premier League club for a 20-year-old who had played over 100 times for their club and had scored in cup finals and scored major goals, then they would be asking us like 60, 70, 80 million pounds. They would, just because we don't like Garnacho now because of the arrogance or issues off the pitch. It doesn't change the value. It doesn't change the value perception.
We need to stop doing that.
There's a situation where Mohamed Kudus has been linked for moves. They're going, it could be like 80 million. He's only played for West Ham for 2 years, and it's like, well, he's not worth 80 million. 40.
No, they bought him for 40, so they're trying to get like a little 20 million on top.
With the way that money is moving in the Premier League at the moment, the benchmark for Garnacho would be about 60, and that would be minimum. That would be minimum, and because of his age, that would be looking for add-ons. They'd be looking for salon fees. They'd be looking at what have you. So. And it's not like a Rashford situation where he's on £300,000 a week. So, well, who's going to pick up that contract? Garnacho's on what? Is it like 50 or something?
Yeah.
He's not even on that much.
Garnacho is the biggest piece of our transfer puzzle. I'm not going to lie, because he's the most sellable in terms of his wages, his contracts. Like he's not on a super contract. And again, with the PSR situation, if you sell him for 60 million, that's a lot of money for Man United to be able to flip and use. Rashford, is obviously, the next biggest fee we can get, but no one's going to pay 40 million now in this climate. It's just not going to happen. Barcelona are not going to give us 40 million for Marcus Rashford. It will be a loan. Sancho after that. I mean, you probably get more for Anthony than Sancho. Hopefully with Betis, we can get like a 30 million, something, 28 plus some add-ons.
Ian says you can gas him up all you want. Garnacho is a 30 to 50 million player max. If we sold Alejandro Garnacho for 30 million pounds in a transfer window where Gittins has gone for 55, that is madness. That is madness. And I tell you now, the moment we did sell Garnacho for 30 million, we then criticise United. We'd go, bad. That's a bad deal for United. Bad deal. Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. 30 million pounds. Now, what is this? Is this 2014 all over again? It's not. Look at the market. The market is that he's worth minimum, again, 50 or 60 minimum. And like Rapper 7 says, Gittins has Champions League experience. Garnacho scored in the Champions League. He scored in the Champions League for Man United a couple of seasons ago. He's playing the Champions League for Man United. So I don't get it. I don't get that point. If you're going to go with, well, Gittins is actually probably worth, if they sold Gittins for like 35, 40 million, then I go, all right, then Garnacho, maybe the market is that he's about 45, 50 million. But you cannot sell Garnacho for 30 million pounds.
No way. It's a travesty. Absolute travesty. I wanted to ask at the end of the show, it's kind of going back to the Rashford thing. We touched on it, but I would really want to talk about it just quickly because I've seen another person kind of tweet it now. It has been a proper thing. Is it, regardless of what's happened, is it disrespectful to Marcus Rashford to take his number away from him while he's still our player?
No, I've mentioned this on
He's an
Friday.
academy graduate. People saying he's an academy graduate. He's broke records for this club. It's gone sour, but have a bit of class about it. At least wait till he leaves. Does anyone share that?
I mentioned this on Friday, that it's inevitable, because this is what I said about the player FC thing, is that there will be the people that, because every time these things have happened with individual players, like what happened with Sancho, you're disrespecting Sancho, or like when it happened with Rashford, you're disrespecting Rashford, or whatever. I mean, for me, I just go, no, because if he's not in your plans, then he's not going to have a number, is he? It's just a way of saying not in the plans. Then what we say, well, it's disrespectful to sell Rashford. It's disrespectful to,
That's what they're saying. They're saying that. It's
but
not
then
disrespectful to tell him.
We're talking out both sides of our mouths, aren't we? Get Rashford gone. Get him out of this club. And then if needs be, just exile him. Do what Chelsea did with Sterling. And then when we do that, it's a bit mean, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think it's disrespectful. I think when it's been as clear, when Rashford has publicly spoken, after the fact that whether he jumped or he was pushed, he could argue that when Rashford writes a book one day and says, "What was your exit like at Man United?" and he actually speaks about it. He's there's always the player side of it. I'm not naive, so I understand the situation to be like, look, when Man United started shopping him around or saying he's available before actually maybe going to him and saying we're going to sell you, I don't know what those conversations look like. So Rashford could feel disrespected from right at the start of this bit of like, I heard you got wind of that you're going to sell me. I'm just saying, playing devil's advocate. That's where he could be angry from. But the club can push back to that to say, your attitude wasn't where it needed to be. We've been dealing with things behind the scenes. You were out in Belfast. You did this. You did that. You know what I mean? So, and then it happened when you got bombed out the squad with Ruben. So we not privy to those conversations of what he did, but we know the Belfast thing happened. He tried to lie, get out of it. Then that subsequently went, it's over at United. Like they tried to sell him, and then he didn't know. Then even after all of that, he calmly, willingly does his interview with Henry Winter to say, I'm ready for a new challenge. I want to leave. You've already been on loan. You've come back. It's still the same. You want to go to Barcelona. You don't want to be here anymore. And it's over with both parties. So because I had to look at the player side and because we can just think off the emotion and listen, it's right to part ways with Rashford, but you don't consider all the bits. If I was him, even if I wanted to leave, would I feel aggrieved that my number's gone? And they did make it clear that he'd been told as well. I don't think I have grounds to be. I said I want to leave, and it's gone sour, and I haven't played since December last year.
Yeah,
October,
I mean,
November.
and again,
Like,
I was like,
I don't think he can say.
I'm being-
And also, what's Man United to do? Is Man United supposed to stop? We've got a new signing who needs the shirt. Like, you're not part of this.
I'm being. First of all, it's the club's decision what they want to do with the shirt. You know, it's not Marcus Rashford's number; it's Manchester United's number first and foremost. They can do whatever they want. You know, they can pick who is the number. You know, for anyone. That number doesn't belong to a player; it belongs to the club. Secondly, you know, you want to talk about disrespect. Oh, it's disrespectful to take his number. Something as arbitrary as a number. Again, he was told you don't have to come back, mate. So what? Well, now we're like, I tell you what, when they told me that I didn't have to report to training, when I was training separately from the squad, watching them train as a group while I'm doing shuttle runs by myself, that was all right. But taking my number away, that was too far. That was too far. But Mohammed's right there. My dad, he bought a Cavani number 7 shirt that summer, and Ronaldo came in and took the number, and they wouldn't refund him. That is disrespectful. So yeah, just like with his return to Carrington, it doesn't change anything. And I think that, you know, it's not, you know, obviously when you think about shirt numbers at Manchester United, obviously the number 7 shirt, you know, that's got a lot of history to it. There's been a lot of great number 10s at Manchester United, of course. But like I said, it's not like Marcus Rashford's synonymous. It's always been his number. He is known for that number. It's not that. And again, that number doesn't belong to him. In the same way, no number belongs to anyone at Manchester United unless it's retired for them. It doesn't belong to him.
Yeah, I remember when Martial was in his prime, and we were like, "Oh, Zlatan's come, number taken." You know what I mean? Don't know if Lukaku took it as well. 9, I think. I remember that.
Yeah.
Martial was 11 for a bit, weren't he? Was he 11? Yeah, he was.
Hoyler, when he first came, was 11. He was 9 now. And
it's a number, man. It's not that deep. I agree. I think we're doing too much, especially when we know it's severed and he's never coming back.
Yeah.
It's not that deep. If it was ambiguous, where we're like, there's a lot to talk about what's going on, and you're like, well, he just took his number from me. You don't even have a number. That's
or if he was, you would be talking about disrespect if he was still senior member of the squad, in plans, a real focal part of the team, starting every single game. And Mateus Cunha's come in. You've gone Rashi. We're gonna give you.
And we want you because we want you to leave. Yeah.
Well, not even because you're still playing week in, week out. You're still involved in the team, involved in the squad.
Oh, that's disrespectful.
Actually, but we signed Cunha, so we want to give him 10 just to make him happy. That's disrespectful. Yeah. You go, well, that's disrespectful.
No, but even if with your example, 100%. But also you can add on the fact that if it they just decided now it got sour and he played all the way up to the end of the season, he's still our player, and there hasn't been this frenzy, and it's just like the first thing we're hearing about this is they just took his number and said we want to leave. That's disrespectful. Yeah,
or like with because Imran's saying that, I think that did happen with Martial. Like you show up for pre-season, you go, my number's a bit different. You would go, I don't know how I feel about that one. You know, I get that. I mean, still, I suppose it depends on your perception. For me, but I'm coming from a goalkeeper's perspective. It's just usually number 1, and if you're not, who cares? Like it's just a number. It doesn't. It's not going to affect how you play. It shouldn't affect how you play.
No. But if they're using it as a way to force like I said, if he was playing and still our player, and there was none of this commotion, no Henry Winter thing, he kept quiet, he didn't go on loan to Villa, he's still in the squad trying to substitute appearances, trying to play, trying to start a couple. It wasn't done and dusted yet. We didn't know, and the first we heard was, "You got no number, you can't come back to pre-season." Like that's not how you conduct yourself.
Yeah,
but that isn't what this is. Yeah. But that's not how you treat an academy graduate. But that is not this. That's not how this played out.
That's not the situation.
There you go. Right, let's wrap up. Jason says, Amrin was right about Garnacho. He would be lucky to find a new club because I don't see him linked to any club. He will be. Daniel says, hey, Flex, I'm going to the Jersey game. Any way of getting a pic or saying hi before or after the game? Big up the community. Well, yeah, definitely. In terms of saying hi, we are working on having a meet up in a bar in New Jersey, or should I say New York. So yeah, keep in contact, bro. Follow the channels. We'll be announcing that. Hopefully, we're trying to put some stuff in place. So we can do because far too many times we keep coming to these tours, and we get so many DMs. Oh my God, so many Flex about the game today. watch content, love to meet. And sometimes we randomly bump into people just walking about the stadium, which is amazing out of like 60, 70,000 people. But I get it, man. We really want to connect with you guys, and we need to do something more prominent when we travel. So we're trying to sort out a proper, you know what I mean, meet and greet.
We always say with the tour, the best thing to do is stay tuned to the socials, to X, Instagram, or whatever, because sometimes they can come together quite quickly, or they pop up on the stories, or there's not even time to mention them in like a video or a stream because they go up quite quickly. So stay tuned to the socials, and you can find out all the information there.
And we're trying to do it for as early as possible, even though it's only in a few weeks, but we are trying. Super Arch says, Garnacho has too much drama attached to him. Clubs are not stupid. Why take the risk when his skill set isn't diabolical? Oh, I think you mean is, because you're cussing him. Is diabolical compared to the rest. Eminem says, yes, I'm happy with Cunha getting the shirt, but wait until Rashi leaves. Also, the reason he got it this early is to sell shirts. Well, yeah, 100%. Aya says, Garnacho being 30 mil is reasonable since everyone knows United doesn't want him there. He doesn't want to be there, so why would anyone pay more than that? We'll see. Stephen Grant says, show respect, you get respect. It works both ways. Big show today, people. Big up to each and every single one of you, man. Right. I will see you guys at Football Fleck. As well. We'll be doing a video on there, so make sure you subscribe to that channel. Subscribe to Owen Wrestle News 36555.
It's a big weekend flex for me. Whoa, I've got quite a few shows. I've got AW All in Texas. I've got Saturday night's main event, Goldberg's retirement match for the World Heavyweight Championship against Gunther, and on Sunday we've got Evolution, a all-women's PLE. Yes, very exciting stuff.
Okay, there you go. One of just a few things there happening at Owen Wrestle News 365. And just so you guys think, oh, what's going on next for the next probably 5 or 6 days? I won't be on the morning show. I won't be here. But, of course, you will hear from me in Flex's views and stuff like that. And then, lock back in again. Obviously, we've got the tour coming up. There's loads going on. So, yeah, just Sweden as well. So, yeah, there's loads going on. So you'll see me on the channel. But just when you think, on the morning show, on where else going on? You'll see me, but just not in the morning right here. All right, guys, people. We are out of here. Take care, man. Smash a like on the way out. Take care. Peace.